Yeah, well, actually, kind of get it all
I call this meeting of South Coast School Master Association Senate order. Roll call and approval of proxies.
Colorado.
Present.
Butcher. Cantz.
Here.
Clausen.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Fink.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Lander.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Masters.
Here.
Moriarty.
Here.
Richards.
Here.
Shaw.
Here.
Sencher.
Present.
Seaton.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Stanek.
Here.
Stolman.
Present.
Severson.
Here.
Bostad.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Wright.
Present.
Yamalovich.
Here.
Livermore.
Alright, so, no, I sent the agenda out kind of late last night, just had to make a couple edits from last night. We still do have unfinished business from last week, the organization reactivation, and then also, I'm just going to really quick bring up the Senate budget that we're going to be presenting tomorrow at GAPAC. So all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Next, did everyone get a chance to look over last week's minutes? Any edits for Lehman's, anything to point out needs to be changed on those minutes from last week?
A couple small edits. Really the only notable one was there was a figure change from 20,000 to 80,000. That's really it.
Okay. Anything else? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving last week's minutes say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. We don't have any open floor guests this week, so we'll just move straight into that unfinished business. Archer Weed, 25 lessons here.
Archer Reed Resolution Number 25-012 on the 19th of February 2025. I read this last week, so I will not be reading this again. Do I have any questions?
Any motions? Cindy Lewis.
Motion to vote in favor of this resolution.
Motion to vote in favor of this resolution by Cindy Lewis. Seconded by Senator Rex. That's a roll call vote.
Colorado.
Abstain. We'll abstain from that. Sorry. Let's do that because I'm up here. It feels kind of weird to say aye.
Cantz.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Hernandez.
Aye.
Fink.
Aye.
Hill.
Abstain.
Keel.
Aye.
Lander.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Masters.
Aye.
Moriarty.
Aye.
Richards.
Aye.
Jock.
Aye.
Sedgwick.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stanek.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
Vossbeck.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Jamalowicz.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Alright, moving on to our open discussion, the main point being the Senate budget, so just pull up that spreadsheet. So our idea with the Senate budget is that we were going to go ahead and present this to GAFAC tomorrow, and then for the official Senate budget, we were going to take whatever adjustments GAFAC comes back to us with. If you don't know how GAFAC works, it's very similar to kind of how the SOAP committee works, in that we'll present to them like our organization, our budget, and then based on our budget and how much they can allocate this year, and how much we request, and how much we request in the past, and what we're kind of expecting our expenses to be. They'll make what they see as reasonable cuts, if any cuts at all, and then I think for an official, we've decided this executive team for an official Senate budget will go off kind of the what we get from GAFAC before we go forward, just to approve like an official budget for next year. Some notes about this year's budget. We are only going to request, I think, $13,500 from GAF, just to cover salaries, because salaries do need to come out of GAF. Just the way it works, it goes through HR. Goes through human resources at the school, so that kind of doesn't need to come out of GAP, but everything else we can fundraise. And we determined that our fundraising, just to cover all costs that were incurred this year, we only need about just over $2,500, I believe was the figure. So we're actually trying to raise $3,000 just so we can kind of build up a rainy day fund within the CARE account in case we need to take out an expense, for example, for like if we need to go to Shed to lobby, or not Shed, to Pier and lobby for a bill that is vital to us, or if we need to, if we need to take an important trip to a student federation meeting, or if something ends up costing more than was originally expected, just anything that we can cover under that rainy day fund. We're just kind of trying to plan for that. But yeah, everything else. Everything else is pretty set in there. Just from the kind of like a lot of the costs are based on like kind of costs we've incurred from this year. So yeah. So if you just want to take a look at that, this is also in the Senate folder under Finance Committee under budgets. Senator Lewis.
I have two comments. First one is your vehicle rate is for Suburbans. In the last 2 years, we've taken vans, which are 71 cents a mile. So I would probably adjust for that in the event that you do end up taking more people than traditionally. It'll only add it maybe a couple $100, but I think it's well worth it instead of digging into your fund. And then, sorry, you got a comment?
Yeah, I just want to comment
That,
that value there is for the two Suburbans, so the mileage is multiplied by
we're
two.
saying 57 cents a mile. We've taken vans in the past, which are 71 cents a mile.
So,
So I might adjust it for the vehicles we've actually taken,
okay.
since they're more expensive. And then my second comment was, this is just me maybe not knowing this, but I thought the state rate was higher than $110. I thought it was like $155 a night. But I would refer to the experts.
Yeah, so we were billed 110 plus $2 for the, what's it called, the occupancy tax. So it was 112 per room.
Can you clarify why it's 110?
I think what Vice President Lee is trying to say is that literally from the bill we got from the hotel this year when we asked for the state rate, this is the cost we got back.
Oh,
This is
they
what we
only
were billed.
charged you 104, right? Oh, okay, so it's cheaper than the state rate. Okay.
That is the state, 110 is the state rate.
Point of clarification, was that for Shed specifically?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Director Hadley.
Looks like it's 107 right now, so.
107 or
Yeah,
17?
107. And that's for this fiscal year, so your rates may come out
What is the out of state rate? Isn't it like 170?
like 175.
Where's the 155 coming from in my mind? Because I knew that was a rate at one point. Yes, I'm aware.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. comments on the Senate budget?
Right, I do.
Director,
Real quick, if I'm looking at this, it may be date and location, so as I look further down, there's standard rate of 107, and then depending on where in South Dakota you are, so like June through September in Deadwood, it's 157. And so there's certain rates depending on location and the date that you're going somewhere.
Steve Lockwood.
And then also just because will be a discussion with the finance committee tonight, just to make those any particular adjustments. But this is accelerated just because of the information that was presented from the dean of students. So I just want to put that clear.
I can elaborate on that. So typically we would have a little bit more time. The gap allocation committee, just as a reminder, it's a 9-person voting committee, 6 students because we want students to be the majority, and then 3 employees, 1 faculty member, 1 hourly employee, and 1 salary employee. And trying to get, actually we didn't even look at the 3 employees schedules, trying to get the 6 student schedules a time to match them is very difficult. We're actually going to be meeting in the evenings, so thank you to the students who are willing to do that. Our faculty member is lucky enough to be presenting and participating in 2 different conferences. One is out of the country. So pretty much from like March 6th until March 28th, they were unavailable. So we said, all right, I don't want to wait till March 28th to do this, so let's just accelerate it a little bit. So appreciate you understanding the compressed time frame here.
Any other comments, questions on the budget? Seeing none, we'll move on to our, any other open discussion? Sorry, Senator Clausen?
Just a clarification on the Senate stuff. Is that during meeting time, or is that going to be after the meeting? Or March 5th?
Senator Leonard?
The food will be out during the meeting. The only thing that will go beyond the end of the meeting is like a Jeopardy thing we're going to be doing.
All right, any other points of open discussion? Senator Wright?
Last week, the Senate budget was leaked on Snapchat on a School Minds page. Did we come to a conclusion on that? Because I heard there were various concerns about that for various reasons.
So we came to the conclusion, and it was the actions of a couple of students that reasonably that were a little bit outright. I guess just were ill-informed that we received salaries on Senate and the executive committee. And it did bring up some good discussion points with different constituents. Myself included, I had like 1 or 2 people come up to me and talk about it a little bit, but beyond that, we chose to just not respond to it because it just seemed to be just some misinformation, I guess, or not misinformation. That's the wrong term. Just like people that were just didn't know that we got paid, I guess, because just Senator Wright.
Do you know how, I know our information for the most part is public record, but do you know how that information was accessed and posted somewhere?
From my understanding, looking at the log of who opened the file, it was only accessed by people within Senate. So that's all I can say on the actual accessing of the file on the drive.
Steve Lockwood.
And just like on the substance of the issue with salaries that students had, I've actually also talked with many constituents about that, and there are some issues in the Senate that could be described as important related to like these positions are appointed and they aren't necessarily advertised and they are paid positions. So there was discussion that I thought that was legitimate in that regard. And just like, whether or not it came from the senator's computer or not, I just think that would be unnecessary to be going very harshly against. It's like, just move on, just a PR issue, and
Yeah. I feel like that this is mainly just a PR issue that we really don't need to explore further. It happened, what happened, it doesn't really affect us too much because this is information that should be public anyway, so, yeah. CFO, or Senator Seekman.
Speaking from a PR standpoint, we are going to be working on establishing better lines of communication about Senate things like our budget, and I think it's a good idea to start advertising like our agendas and our minutes, so that for a PR standpoint will become more public information, so if students do have concerns, that is readily available information that they can then access and contact us. So that'll be something we are working on going forward.
All right. Any other points? Any other comments on this point of discussion? Seeing none. Any other points of open discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to our CFO report.
So 4 major bullet points. First is gap back. So committee terms were assigned by the Dean of Students office. So anyone who's on that committee, just as a reminder, first one's on Thursday, February 27th, from 5 to 7 p.m. and the second one is on Monday, March 3rd at 4 to 6 p.m. Second bullet point is university budget meeting. I have a university budget meeting tomorrow with Dr. Spindle and other associated members who are part of that committee at 11:30 to 2:30. SOAP applications. So because of the gap back, the processing of the applications will be accelerated. However, most of the applications have been processed and there has to be a little bit few minor adjustments. And the rest of the applications needed to be completed by the end of this week, as I already said earlier. And committee meeting times. So anyone who's on finance committee, a meeting will be immediately following this meeting. And possibly, and ideally, there will be a meeting tomorrow. Please respond to the email if you're a part of this committee because of interruptions to the gap app. Otherwise, nothing else to report.
All right, any comments on the CFO report? Seeing none, moving on to the Vice President report.
During our U-Board meeting on Monday, our committee chairs decided it would be best to keep the surplus funds in care account for just like a rainy day. So there's no plan to spend that this term. For those of you senators who are not graduating, start thinking about if you want to stay on Senate. Nominations will open the 19th of March and they'll close the week afterward, and elections will be held April 2nd. So I'm going to stay on this these hallowed chambers and on this lovely body of senators. Please please consider that and look forward to those nominations opening up. And then, Secretary Garcia asked me to mention that he'll be graduating, so his position for secretary will be open. This will obviously be an appointed position by the new president and vice president for this coming year. But if you are interested or know anyone who's interested, reach out to Secretary Garcia, and he will direct you to the right people once the presidential elections are held. This position does have a stipend, and the main duties are to record the minutes and also to keep the office clean and up to date. So if you have questions, direct them to Secretary Garcia. And report.
All right. Any comments, questions, concerns for the VP report? Seeing none, moving on to my report. Biggest thing is we're meeting with President Tandy this Friday, just a one-on-one between me, Vice President Wheat, and President Tandy. So the main things that I just kind of compiled right now, a preliminary general list of student comments about what's been brought up in this body. Food services is a big thing I'm going to probably discuss with them. Facilities is another big thing I'm probably going to discuss with them. The testing center, that was brought up. We're going to get more clarification on that, but there have been concerns about the testing center. not being able to provide professional tests, although it sounds like we just hired a new faculty member about a month ago that just got certified, I believe, is what I heard on the ability to administer those professional tests, so hopefully that issue is resolved. And then also questions, just to better understand what's going on campus. So I think a lot of the questions I have personally, just because I'm more close to it, is the mechanical engineering department. For those who haven't heard, lab access for a majority of students in the mechanical engineering department has been cut off due to the resignation of lab staff within the mechanical engineering department. So I kind of wanted to talk to President Tandy about that. We've already been in contact with Director of the Mechanical Engineering Department, Dr. Larochelle. So I think this is a legitimate concern. This is something I've personally seen in other organizations I'm a part of, as well as I've just heard in the halls about mechanical students that have concerns about it. If there are any other questions, any topics and questions that would be you think would be useful to bring to the President, Tandy, please email me those topics and questions at the President email or even my school email. I would greatly appreciate it. Or you can just text me on Snapchat. All three of those work perfectly fine. Moving on, just basic, our GAF Act presentation for Senate is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So, and I will be presenting that in front of the committee. I know last year we didn't have a member on the committee present it, but after talking with Director Headley, it seemed pretty. It didn't seem like to be too much of a conflict of interest to have me present the student budget. So, especially since this will be the budget the next administration is operating under. So, and then moving on from that, if you noticed in the last couple of weeks, I haven't been able to come last week and this week. I've been coming with a report from department heads, so I just need to catch up on that basically. Main reason is just because Dr. McGoo had to call out sick last minute last week, and then I just never rescheduled time with him. So I'll be emailing the electrical department just to set up time with Dr. McGoo, as well as the chemical engineering department and the chemistry and biological sciences department, just to set up times with those three people. So hopefully next week I'll have 3 reports to come to you with. And on that subject, if you're in the chemical engineering department, any major that falls under that, or the chemical and biological science department. So basically any major that falls under the CBEC building, please contact me if you'd be interested in meeting with your respective department heads. And then finally, just a little quick thing, and Senator Alarabi will cover this more. We're just working with the Constitution Committee to better integrate this class support structure that you've been seeing. So, other than that, any reports? Senator Lewis.
I was told that the Mechanical Engineering Mentors Group has scheduled a meeting with Provost Roberts over concerns about lab access.
Okay, that's good to know. You said the mentors? All right, I believe I know a couple of the mentors, so I'll get in contact with them about that. Senator Buster.
Any update on the wings on fire yet?
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I forgot to mention in my report. Yeah, Bucky on fire. Bucky on fire. I have it in my notes and I just completely glazed over it or glossed over it. Yeah, Bucky on fire. The main thing I need to do right now is email Stephanie Lindsley just about space that can host a large amount of students that we can access within the next couple of months. I have means of getting in contact with the VH president, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then obviously I'm meeting with President Tandy this Friday, so I'll bring up the idea to him this Friday as well. So that was my main plan behind that, is in addition to the department heads emails that I'm probably going to send out tonight, I'm also going to email Stephanie Lindsley. So, yeah. Senator Richards?
I believe if you check the student senate comment box, you'll see a number of concerns and complaints about the admin department. But it might be worth accumulating, so you bring them to meetings and show them.
Yes, I believe Senator Faustin and the Student Affairs Committee have already been looking at this comments box, so they've already been on top of that. So. Yes. Any other comments, questions, concerns for myself? Seeing none, we will be moving on to our class senator reports, starting with our sophomore reports. Senator Shock.
Okay, so I got two things I gotta report. First of all, the parking lot lights in Placer's parking lot are out, and no one told any of the residents. And we're wondering, what's the schedule on that? Did that fix? Or anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Do you know, Senator Chuck, are all of them out?
All of them except the far two on the entrance, and then the ones on the building themselves.
So it's probably a breaker then, if that many
Okay.
are out, so it's probably a quick fix.
Okay.
We can put it in the work order.
Okay, that,
I'm writing that down, contact her about that.
okay.
Thank you.
Director Dudley?
Just along those lines, since we didn't do a safety walk in the fall, if there's time, that's usually where we catch some of those things, right? And so, if we see anything else or we feel like we need to look at some other spaces, we can let Joe know.
Yes. I'd like to make a comment that they did do a safety walk.
Did they?
They
Okay,
did do a
okay,
safety walk in the park, and they didn't include us though, because I was trying to schedule with them and.
Perfect, well, thank you.
Yeah, and then they told me that, oh, we'd already done that, and I'm like, okay. So, yeah, so.
Then I got- Then I got one more thing. I've had students complain to me about not liking the new benches they have in the King Center. Like the seats that you bench on. Not they're shaped kind of funny.
Alright, I'll talk to Director Sales about that, Senator Leonard.
Along the same lines, I've gotten complaints about the new, I know it's like been a semester of it basically already, but the new ratio of cardio to lifting machines, I've gotten complaints about how much cardio machines there are now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe the ratio, I don't believe the amount of equipment. It might seem like more because it's
It's just taking up more land space.
Yeah,
is what
Senator
it's-
Clausen?
I kind of addressed this last semester for those of you who were here. When we took our survey for the King Center, there's just some built-in hatred of cardio. I don't know what it is, just everyone that bench presses just hates cardio and a burning passion. So that's where a lot of that comes from, I think. Passion comes from the
Anyways. Oh, Senator Richards.
Rich maybe changed a little bit, the pre-shirt curl stations got taken out. Yeah.
Alright, any other comments? Senator Chalk, do you have anything else in your report? Senator Chalk, do you have anything else in your report?
That was in the report, sorry.
Alright, your report. Any comments on the sophomore senator report? Sophomore class report? Seeing no comments, questions for the sophomore class report, we'll move on to the senior class report with Senator Rick.
Yeah, the only concern I heard as of late was a more feasible parking program. That's about it.
Alright. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Moriarty?
I just have two questions about the email that was sent out today about voting for the commencement speakers. So one of my constituents asked, and I just wasn't sure how to clarify this. This first round of voting is just to pick the people that go on the final list, and then an email will be sent out for seniors to vote on the actual speaker after that.
Yes, that's exactly correct. So the only difference with the final round of voting, so usually about 4 to 6 students, depending how many say yes, I want to be considered, is that voting only goes to the senior listserv, so everybody who has 90 credits or more, and anybody who's graduating this May, whether they're PhD graduate or a senior. So the first round is the only opportunity for like freshmen and sophomores to vote.
Senator Moriarty.
And then another question that I got is, who is the person you are supposed to contact if you are supposed to graduate and you're not on this list? Is that registrar or?
So there is about 10 students who are graduating, but they check a box in their application to say, do not release my information. So they're still going to graduate, they can walk across the stage, but I legally cannot share their information, they're not gonna be in the program. So unless they change that with the registrar's office, I can't, it's probably scaring them, they're not on the list, right? But it's just because they mark themselves as confidential.
Okay. Senator Moore,
So that's something that they can verify with the registrar then to ensure that they are still walking?
Correct.
Alright. Any other comments, questions, concerns with the senior report? I guess a little bit of info for those who don't know, this is senior related. The order of engineer initiation was this past Friday, so congratulate anyone you see with the ring on, because that's where they got the ring. So yeah. Any other comments on the senior report? Yeah, Senator Sullivan.
Personal privilege.
One personal privilege by Senator Sullivan. Seeing no questions, seeing no comments, concerns about the senior report, moving on to our international report. No report. Veteran report.
Two things. NEMO was successful. I guess it was overall a smaller event than last year, probably had something to do with the month. Thanks to everybody that supported, and you'll have it again next year if you want to go. The other one, much more specific. It's a pity that EE folks weren't here because it regarded them. One of my vets says that they were trying to hire a new professor. That fell through, and it goofed up their schedule so bad it may push them a year. So he may or may not have concerns about either the hiring practice in general or the approval process thereafter. But I can't speak to the veracity of this claim, it's just what I'm told. So that might be something to look at, and I'd be happy to mediate if possible.
Yeah. I'll include that in my notes to bring up with when we talked about review, because that fall directly into them.
That's what I got.
Yes, Secretary Garcia.
Do you know what class it was?
Not specifically.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns for our veteran report? Seeing our Senator Leonard.
Could you ask him what class it is, please?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns for our veteran? Seeing none, moving on to our graduate report.
Grad students are concerned about the state of federal funding, so an update when you speak with Dr. Tandy would be much appreciated, even if it is no news at this time. An update would be much appreciated because a lot of grants for research hang in the balance currently, and some people aren't able to do their research and progress currently without that funding and report.
Yeah, that has been on my mind too, and I completely forgot to put it into that. So thank you, I put that in minutes. Any other comments, questions, concerns for graduate report? Seeing none, moving on to our non-traditional report.
No report.
No report. All right, moving on to our committee report, starting with our constitutional report.
Update on looking at the Constitution. It really, what it came down to is we're going to work on it as an executive board, look at it more. So I'll have more updates as those come along, but as of right now, there's no update on that. That's kind of where we're at. Also, I wanted to thank you guys for fixing the back end of Graduate Women in Sciences, fixing all the paperwork, making sure everything worked all well. That was very helpful for us. Thank you for showing the report.
Vice President.
So if we want to make those constitutional changes, they'll have to be voted on by the student body. And theoretically, the best time for that would be with the class senator elections, which would be the 2nd of April. So just keep that in mind in terms of timeline.
All right, Senator Alarafe.
We'll work on that as an executive board. We'll figure that out.
Perfect. All right, any other comments, questions, concerns for Constitution Committee? Seeing none, move on to our Public Relations Committee.
Today, we made a really good plan within the committee to get all of our upcoming events, as in election and our subsequent debate, advertised. So we'll be doing that, and we might rely on you guys to help throw a poster on your Snapchat story. Thank you. And report.
So So, I know that you said we had a date scheduled for Friday, correct? That's what I heard?
I'll let Jordan speak to that, that's more her issue, or her forte rather.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, okay, we'll get there. All right, any other comments, questions, concerns, public relations?
Since we're there. Not just, anyone.
Any other comments, questions, concerns for our public relations committee? Seeing none, moving on to government relations committee.
Okay, as most of you know, first of all, where is the dessert sign-up sheet? Keep passing that around, please. The president and vice president petitions were due at 5 p.m. today. We got three groups of people, and so, am I allowed to say the names? Okay, it's Nathan Sattler running with Ashton Parsons, Jacob Bostad running with Clive View, and Jordan Leonard running with Maddie Seaman. The debate, we scheduled it for Friday. We booked the room from 5 to 10 p.m. in hopes that we could get 1 hour where all three groups could meet up and do the debate. It's not looking like that's going to work out, so I'm going to have to talk with the president and vice president on that, on what you guys want to do. The plan is to have our current president moderate the debates with.
I'm going to make a comment on that. I was just having a discussion with other people. It didn't seem like it'd be the most ethical decision for me to moderate this debate, so possibly someone like, possibly the secretary. The secretary, so you would do it. Okay.
Okay. We will finalize who's moderating the debates. That's me, Jordan. The actual election material has been emailed to the in charge of all of that to be posted on Wednesday. The goal is to have it open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we won't find out till Thursday. We have a Pancheros fundraiser on Monday, and the potluck, dessert potluck and Jeopardy on Tuesday. End of report.
All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Leonard, Senator Lewis?
An opinion from this section over here would be that if you truly want to have a nonpartisan moderator, it should be someone not in the Senate.
Yeah. That'd be something to consider. Yeah, Senator Seaman?
Would you like advertising for this Poncheros event next week?
Sure.
Senator Richards.
Can you repeat who the first two candidates were again?
Nathan Sattler is running with Ashton Parsons.
Yeah, thank you.
Vice President Lee.
I think Director Headley or Joe mentioned that Friday night could be a poor time if we really wanted student engagement in this debate. I don't know what else we can schedule at this point, but so if the timing doesn't work out for all the candidates, we will consider rescheduling.
Senator Leonard.
The goal was to avoid the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and evening conflicts. But seeing as we can't get all of our groups on Friday, we'll probably bring it rescheduled to Monday or Tuesday.
Another point that was brought up is possibly doing Sunday night as well.
I can tell you, I think we're gonna have, I can tell you now, we're gonna have a conflict. Tuesday, Monday, Friday.
Senator Lewis.
What was I going to say? You said Sunday, and that's distracting me. I know. What was I going to say? Don't do Sunday night. I'll get back to it. I'll remember it.
Any other comments, I guess, say for Senator?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you please reiterate what the date for the presidential election is?
It is a week from today, so March 5th.
That is what the Constitution says.
I know, it's a really convoluted sentence, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Isn't it like the third Wednesday after the sacrifice of a lamb? Isn't it something ridiculous?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Leonard?
Yes, one Senator Leonard. I'm sorry, I may have missed the the instructions about the dessert sign up. What is the dessert potluck?
Oh, we're just signing up for people to bring in desserts, so we have desserts during the meeting and then a Jeopardy game at the end of the meeting.
Okay, so during next week's meeting.
Yes.
Okay. You said that this way.
All right, any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Leonard? Seeing none, move on to our student affairs committee.
Alright, so as people have kind of been saying, the ME department is kind of having an issue with shop access, and a lot of people are taking issue with that. Looking at the Mind suggestion box, I have 20 recent responses. I have 1 about improving Wi-Fi, 2 about ice cream, and about 17 about the ME shop. So basically, from what I understand, the current, and this has kind of been iterated already, but I'll just go back over it. The current lab supervisor is leaving. I don't think they've left yet, but they're leaving. And therefore, people that are doing like passion projects and just lab access in general is not all the time anymore. So basically, that was their full-time job, was to be in there and give people access to labs. So now camp teams have to go through, I got a list of names here.
I got it. Dr. Coons. It's Dr. Coons.
Coons?
Or Voss.
And senior design will have to go through Voss. Yeah. So personal projects this semester are not looking good. That's likely to just kind of die off this semester, but it's almost guaranteed that things will pretty much go back to normal by next semester. I hope we get someone hired on throughout the summer, but it's not looking like it's going to happen this semester. So that's that.
Okay. Any comments, questions, concerns for our student affairs committee? Seeing none, move on to our campus ad hoc committees and the campus ad hoc reports. Senator Keel.
I would like to have the safety and security committee meet after this meeting.
Perfect. Would you like me to reiterate who's on that committee, just so?
Yeah, that'd be good, because I was looking for that list.
Yeah, I'll be looking up behind it. Where is that list? I noticed earlier right here. Safety and security, if you can't, that was Chair, Senator Keel, and then that'd be Senator Schock and Senator Syverson were both on that committee. So Senator Schock and Senator Syverson. Yeah, any comments, questions, concerns for Senator Keel? Seeing none, any other campus ad hoc reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to upcoming Senate business. Senator Leonard.
GR committee will be meeting in the student senate office after this.
Okay.
I would just like to say ours is on the calendar.
Senator Lewis.
Then my point is no, because I was going to call dibs.
Senator
Paul.
Director Hartley.
Next week I'll be president. Just kidding. I will offer up our suites this evening, as long as you guys are here to close the door after you're done. You can use it as a whiteboard. So whoever, I'll just leave all of them off.
I would say ours is going to take like 10 minutes, so we'll take this week. You guys
Great. Any other upcoming Senate business? Chief Lockwood.
As it was already iterated, finance meeting after this SARS.
Yes. All right. Senator Syverson.
So where is the security ad hoc going to meet?
Where? Out there. All right. Any other points of upcoming Senate business? Seeing none, any announcements? Senator Alarape.
Sports, the men's and women's basketball finishing up their season. They have a game tomorrow night, and they have a game on Saturday. So the last 2 games they're
Senator Pink.
Since we're supporting the basketball team, the conference track meet is also on Friday and Saturday. So if you see anybody tonight or tomorrow, or congratulate them making their conference and tell them good luck.
Is that you? Or you? I will back.
Secretary Garcia.
Midterms are coming up, be prepared for those. Good luck, everyone, on midterms.
All right, any other announcements? Any motions? Senator Boston. Motion to adjourn by Senator Boston. Senator Garland, second. All those in favor, adjourn, say aye.